The year was 1999. I remember it very well. I just landed my first media director job at a church in Beaumont, Texas. That's in the east side of Texas. I was super pumped. It was a good salary for my age. I knew all about cameras. I could edit. I could direct the live service in my sleep. But I got hired because of my skills. But what I didn't realize I didn't have was leadership experience. I didn't know what to do when a volunteer got upset and walked off the job. That actually happened. I didn't know how to handle disagreement. I didn't know how to lead people who didn't share my same vision. My skills got me in the door, but leadership was going to determine whether I built something that lasted. And that lesson was tough, but it changed everything. So today I want to share 8 principles that changed how I lead church media and how you can build something that actually thrives. Skills get you hired, but leadership builds the team. I was trained by a great guy. He was a mentor. I was a teenager at a church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Victory Christian Center. And his name was Tom. And back then, the church purchased TV cameras, went on television, and I would sit in the service just staring at these cameras. I was fascinated. I wanted on it. So my parents talked to Tom, and he agreed to train me. So he taught me running camera, how to run cameras, how to direct, how to edit, and even getting behind the equipment racks and learning how to wire, lots of BNC cables. But knowing production and leading people are 2 completely different things. Trust me, production's predictable, people aren't. Gear responds. If I hit the zoom on a camera, I know it's gonna zoom in, at least it should. Software responds the same way. The input, we know what our output's gonna be. But people are different. They've got emotion, ego, they have history. In church media, your real job isn't pushing those buttons, it's pastoring people. Number 2, honor the past to build the future. If you're new in the media director seat, listen up. You're going to want to change everything probably in the first few weeks that you get there, right? You may not like the way the control room's set up. You may not like the way the volunteers are directing the services, calling shots, running pro presenter. You might not like their system. But keep in mind, your volunteers built what's there. They sacrificed the weekends, the years. They put that time in before you got there. So they care super deeply about what they've done. So if you come in and change everything overnight, it feels like you're dismissing their history and everything they've built. So I advise you, slow down. It's okay. Listen first, get them together, ask how things started. Ask them why the control room's set up this way. Why did you put the switcher here and not over here? But find out from them. Ask what's worked. Celebrate what's been built. Then cast vision, right? Get them on your team first. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone will go where you're leading. And that's okay, because thriving departments are built on alignment, not 100% agreement. Number 3, lead with integrity, not perfection. I had a volunteer leave one time because he didn't like my leadership style. He didn't like my directing. He didn't like anything that I did. And I was fairly new in this position. And then he actually walked off the job. He was so mad. I mean, I was hurt. I was defensive. Today I'd probably handle it completely different. I would listen longer before it got to that point. I'd separate his feedback from my identity, and I'd respond slower. If you do this long enough, people will leave. Somebody's going to get mad and leave. It's just part of the job, right? The question isn't, did everyone stay? The question is, did you lead with integrity? Did you treat them with respect even when you disagreed? You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be mature. Number 4, you're not the system. This one will save you, especially new media leaders, because you typically think, I'll just handle it myself when there's a problem. I'll stay late. I'll fix it. And that works short term. But if everything depends on you, your department and your ministry are super fragile, because you're not building a department. At that point, you're building a stressful job. And really practical, you need things like a volunteer recruiting plan on paper, not just in your head. You need clear roles. You need a training plan for those volunteers and written systems. I mean, how many times do we show up and we got new volunteers and we say, just get on the camera, we'll train you as we go, right? Yeah, that'll get you through that week, but long term, it's not sustainable. You gotta have systems. And when it's too much, when things are too much on you, you got to communicate that to your pastor or your boss. Because burnout isn't a badge of honor, it's a warning light. Number 5, speak the language of mission. Stop talking about cameras and start talking about mission. Your pastor doesn't wake up thinking about frame rates. No, they're thinking about the budget, They're thinking about people, impact the church is making in the community. And let's say you really do need to replace those 20-year-old cameras in the sanctuary. And you go up to your pastor and you say, Pastor, we need this new 4K camera system. It's going to cost $500,000. And he looks at you with that blank stare and walks off. And you wonder why he never listens to you. Try this instead. Pastor, if we want our online audience to feel more connected during worship, here's what we need to improve. Same request, different language. So when you speak strategy, your pastor is going to listen to you differently. That's when you move from being a technician to being a partner. You're in this thing with him. Number 6, systems over hype. Hype will get you through Easter and Christmas, but building systems and a solid plan will get you through 52 weeks. Most exhaustion isn't a gear problem. It's not cameras. It's unclear timelines. There's no early deadlines. You got last minute edits all the time. There's no recurring rhythm for your volunteer recruitment because you haven't built margin. So for instance, if a video is going to air this Sunday and you're editing it, you need to have it finished by Wednesday, not Saturday night. You need to expect changes. Give your pastor that opportunity to watch your video, preferably a few days before it airs, and let him make changes. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. That way you've got time to go back in, you're not stressed, and your video's great, and everybody's happy. So margin lowers stress more than any new equipment ever will. Number 7, create leaders, not just operators. An operator waits to be told what to do, but a leader understands the why and can train someone else. Stop just adding volunteers and start developing leaders. One thing that radically helped my life as a church media director is my volunteer team. I began to find the leaders in that group. You can pick them out. Just the ones that are always on time, they're very faithful. And I would pull them aside privately and I'd say, so-and-so, thank you so much for all the time you've been giving this department. And I really see a lot of potential in you. And I'd just like your advice, and I'd like to have you around a bit longer. Would you consider being a leader in our team? This could be someone that maybe leads a Sunday. Maybe they're the ones responsible to make sure all the camera ops and different positions are filled. Maybe they do the scheduling once or twice a week for that group. And if someone's running late, this is the person they call. It's not all on you, right? Developing leaders, developing buy-in into our team. And meet with this group monthly. And then quarterly, at least get your leaders and your entire team together. It just builds great synergy. If you're new in the seat, that's cool. It's okay. You're learning. But if you've been doing this a while and you're exhausted, just know it's probably not a gear problem. It's leadership and systems. Healthy teams are led by mature leaders who develop other leaders. So ask yourself, do I have systems? Am I building leaders? Am I aligned with my pastor? Or am I just surviving Sundays? You don't build something that lasts on skill alone. You build it with leadership. You got this, and I'll see you next time.